Thank you so much also for having us, and for the sake of the time, I will go straight to the point, trying to share with you these promising practices and essential actions. As CBD Women's Caucus, we developed an assessment of some of the NBSAPs that were out by April the 25th, trying to answering a question in terms of how if these NBSAPs that have been already published by April were gender responsive, or how were they already embedding the gender plan of action provisions. So what we did is to analyze these NBSAPs against something that is called the Gender Integration Continuum, a tool that allows analysis of public policies to understand how they have been embedding the gender perspective. And also we're screening against 18 human rights, women's rights, including equality, no discrimination, rights to water, food, health, economic development, land, because we realize the direct connection in between these sets of rights with the 23 targets, right? Like somehow we're speaking about biodiversity, but we are also listing a set of rights. So our main question was if the NBSAPs were integrating them. And well, I won't be making any, I won't keep you in the, how do you say like that? I won't make any suspense. Sadly, the assessment gave us like mixed results or mixed feelings. We are having mixed feelings in terms of most of half of the NBSAPs were gender blind or simply gender aware by mentioning women are important, gender equality is relevant, section C, but didn't go beyond mentioning them. But since the question was like trying to find best practices, trying to inspire us, actually highlight what is there. So I want to share 5 cases actually. And I'm going to name countries positively and with good examples. For example, Togo, since the beginning, they established a committee that included women's organizations, youth, indigenous peoples, local communities, and ministries. So they came together to discuss what should be embedded in the NBSAPs. And concretely, they included actions related to training programs for women leaders, quotas for biodiversity committees, and improved participation. Uganda, they identified also capacity building programs to women taxonomists, inclusive stakeholder engagement forums, and consideration of gender-specific indicators. This gender integration continuum, what allows us to identify is which NBSAPs go beyond merely mentioning women, but they went all into including more concrete actions or elements that went beyond having a target, but going into actions, indicators, and even funding. So we are highlighting these countries that have some of these elements. Tanzania, they identified or proposed 3 strategic actions. 1, develop and implement gender-responsive biodiversity conservation plans and approaches, including, and they name access to land, to water, to fisheries, to other natural resources. Provide full, equitable, meaningful, and informed participation, access to justice. And the 3rd action is to establish a mechanism for generation of information of the linkages between biodiversity and gender. Jordan, on their side, they identified within their NBSAPs policies that explicitly dedicated to promote gender equality, but other aspects just more than the usual suspects. They included dimensions of employment, education, management, green investments, and access to benefits. And lastly, Moldova, they, for example, even go beyond. In the NBSAPs, they included the need to guarantee proportion of seats in national parliaments, to even amend the state budget law to allow gender budgeting within their environmental allocations, and to ensure decision-making to be inclusive and responsive. So I just want to highlight these 5 examples just to say that there are parties, governments showing us how can this be embedded, and just to say that we can learn from them if those countries missing to develop their NBSAPs want to follow their lead. It's in terms of going beyond just the mentioning, but actually follow what the Gender Plan of Action is saying already. There are concrete actions, concrete guidance on how to embed this. And I just want to highlight in terms of go beyond words, allocate budget, allocate people to work on them, and establish measurements, indicators that will allow us to actually find out by COP17 actually when the Gender Plan of Action has to be reviewed. So in 1 year or more or less, we are going to know if actually the gender component of Section C is on track or not. So just the invitation for those, we are here to also support you within the CBD Women's Caucus. We have a huge network of experts. We have a huge network of women leaders. I think I would dare to say from all over the country. So in case you are looking for women experts within your countries, please reach out. We are more than happy to put you in contact with them so they can also support the national processes.